For centuries, the samurai were Japan's elite warriors. They fought battles that decided the fate of kingdoms. They served powerful lords, mastered the sword, and became symbols of honor, discipline, and loyalty. When most people imagine the samurai today, they picture armored warriors charging across battlefields with drawn katanas. But that image tells only part of the story. Because over time, something remarkable happened. The warriors who once lived by the sword became government officials, teachers, philosophers, artists, and even poets. Their greatest challenge was no longer defeating an enemy. It was finding a new purpose in a world at peace. The story of the samurai is not simply the story of warriors. It is the story of how an entire society reinvented itself, because history is filled with moments when strength alone is no longer enough. Sometimes survival requires adaptation. To understand the samurai, we must begin in Japan over 1,000 years ago. During the Heian period, beginning in the late 8th century, the imperial court in Kyoto held great prestige. But while the emperor remained the symbolic ruler of Japan, real power in many provinces gradually shifted away from the capital. Powerful noble families acquired vast estates across the countryside. These lands needed protection. Bandits threatened trade routes. Rival clans competed for influence. Local disputes could quickly turn violent. As central authority weakened, wealthy landowners increasingly relied on professional warriors to defend their territories. These warriors became known as samurai. The word itself comes from a verb meaning to serve. Originally, the samurai were not independent rulers. They were retainers who pledged loyalty to powerful families. Their value depended upon discipline, skill in combat, and unwavering service. Over generations, these warriors became indispensable. Military ability was no longer simply useful. It became the foundation of political power. As conflicts spread throughout Japan, the samurai evolved from local bodyguards into the country's dominant military class. From the 12th century onward, Japan entered centuries of political instability. Power shifted from emperors to military governments known as shogunates. Regional lords, called daimyo, competed constantly for influence. Alliances formed, collapsed, and formed again. Entire provinces changed hands through warfare. For the samurai, battle was not an occasional event. It was a way of life. Training began in childhood. Young warriors learned archery, horsemanship, swordsmanship, strategy, and discipline. Victory depended not only on courage, but also on preparation. Families built reputations over generations. Honor became deeply connected to military service. The samurai were expected to place duty above personal comfort, loyalty above ambition. Their identity became inseparable from conflict itself. Yet this world of endless warfare could not continue forever. Eventually, someone would succeed where countless others had failed. They would unite Japan, and in doing so, they would transform the samurai forever. During the late 16th century, three remarkable leaders reshaped Japanese history: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Each built upon the achievements of the one before him. Nobunaga broke the power of rival clans through military innovation and ruthless determination. Hideyoshi completed much of the country's unification, introducing reforms that stabilized society. Finally, Tokugawa Ieyasu secured victory at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. 3 years later, he became shogun. The Tokugawa shogunate would rule Japan for more than 250 years. For the first time in generations, large-scale civil war came to an end. Peace replaced constant conflict. For ordinary people, this brought stability. For the samurai, however, peace created an unexpected problem. What happens to a warrior when there are no wars left to fight? The Tokugawa era transformed Japanese society. Castles remained. The samurai still wore two swords. Their social status remained high, but their daily lives changed dramatically. Instead of leading armies into battle, many samurai now worked behind desks. They collected taxes, maintained records, settled legal disputes, oversaw infrastructure projects, administered towns and provinces. Military discipline remained valuable. But intellectual ability became equally important. Education expanded. Reading became essential. Many samurai studied history, law, and Confucian philosophy. The sword remained a symbol of identity. Yet increasingly, it was worn rather than used. The samurai had become something few earlier generations could have imagined: civil servants. As warfare declined, samurai culture flourished in new directions. Calligraphy became an essential skill. Poetry was admired. Tea ceremonies reflected ideals of patience and self-control. Zen Buddhism encouraged meditation and discipline. Confucian philosophy emphasized duty, loyalty, and moral responsibility. A samurai was expected to cultivate both the mind and the body. This balance became an ideal. One hand could wield a sword, the other could hold a brush. Many of the values people associate with the samurai today were refined during this peaceful period rather than on the battlefield. Bushido, the way of the warrior, developed into an ethical ideal emphasizing honor, integrity, courage, compassion, and self-discipline. Whether every historical samurai lived by these principles is debated by historians, but the ideal became enormously influential. The image of the samurai evolved beyond warfare. He became a symbol of character itself. Under Tokugawa rule, Japan became one of the most stable societies in the early modern world. Strict social classes organized society. The emperor remained in Kyoto as a symbolic figure. The shogun governed from Edo, today's Tokyo. Regional daimyo ruled their domains under careful supervision. The samurai occupied the highest social rank beneath the ruling elite. Their responsibilities extended far beyond military service. They maintained order, collected taxes, administered justice, protected infrastructure, recorded official documents. In many ways, they became the bureaucratic backbone of the Japanese state. The transformation was remarkable. A class born in war had become essential to peace. Yet no political system lasts forever. And during the 19th century, powerful new forces arrived from beyond Japan's shores. For more than 2 centuries, Japan remained largely isolated from the outside world. But in 1853, American Commodore Matthew Perry arrived with steam-powered warships. His appearance demonstrated that the world had changed. Industrial technology was transforming warfare. Modern firearms challenged traditional military systems. Political pressure mounted. The Tokugawa government struggled to respond. Eventually, the Meiji Restoration of 1868 restored political authority to the emperor and launched an ambitious program of modernization. The old feudal system was dismantled. Modern conscript armies replaced hereditary warriors. The samurai gradually lost their privileges. Many adapted once again. Some became military officers. Others entered government service, teachers, business leaders, police officers, entrepreneurs. Their status as a distinct warrior class disappeared, but their influence remained woven into Japanese society. The age of the samurai had ended. Their legacy had not. Today, the samurai continue to fascinate people around the world. Films often portray dramatic sword fights. Books celebrate legendary duels. Popular culture emphasizes armor and katanas. Yet perhaps their greatest achievement lies elsewhere. For nearly 7 centuries, the samurai continually adapted to changing circumstances. They evolved from mounted archers to swordsmen, from battlefield commanders to administrators, from warriors to scholars. Few ruling classes in history have transformed themselves so completely while remaining influential for so long. Even modern ideas of discipline, lifelong learning, and public service in Japan have been shaped in part by this legacy. The samurai remind us that strength is not measured only by victory in battle. Sometimes it is measured by the willingness to embrace change. The samurai are often remembered as fearless warriors, but their greatest story is not one of conquest. It is one of transformation. For centuries, they defined themselves through warfare. Then peace forced them to discover new identities. They became administrators, judges, teachers, artists, and poets. The world around them changed. Rather than disappearing immediately, many adapted with it. Eventually, even the samurai system reached its limits. Industrialization, modern governments, and new military technologies made the old order obsolete. Yet their legacy endured because it extended beyond the battlefield. History teaches us that powerful systems do not survive through strength alone. They survive through adaptation. The samurai did not become legendary because they never changed. They became legendary because when the world transformed around them, they transformed as well. History is not only shaped by conquest and conflict. Sometimes it is shaped by transformation. And few transformations are more remarkable than that of the samurai. From warriors to administrators, from swordsmen to scholars, from fighters to poets. Their story reminds us that the strongest societies are often those willing to evolve. If you want to understand how systems rise, adapt, and eventually fracture, subscribe to Fractures of History.